So, what if I told you that one single scene from House of Cards could teach you more about speaking English like a native than an entire textbook? Well, today we're going to prove it. We are going to break down one powerful scene and unlock the real secrets of native level fluency.
You might be thinking, really? A political drama? And the answer is a huge yes, but only if you know how to listen. See, it's not about just watching the show, it's about hearing the music, the rhythm, and all those hidden rules that native speakers use without even thinking about it. And today, we're going to make those rules crystal clear.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the big idea of learning from TV shows. Then, we're going to zoom way in on the tiny sounds that make a massive difference in your pronunciation. After that, we'll look at expressions, read the hidden meaning in the dialogue, and finally, we'll wrap it all up into your personal path to fluency.
So here's the big shift in thinking you need to make. Real fluency isn't about memorizing a bunch of grammar rules from a book. It's about listening to and mimicking the flow, the sounds, and the rhythm of how people actually talk. You want to absorb the language, not just study it. That's our whole philosophy today.
Okay, let's get into the good stuff. This is where we separate that stiff textbook English from how people actually speak in the real world. We're going to focus on those tiny details that tell everyone you're a confident, natural speaker. Let's start with our first example from the scene. It's a super simple phrase, right? You probably use it all the time. But the key to making it sound truly native is hiding in one little word, so. Let's really focus on this sound. A lot of learners say a really short, flat so, but a native speaker makes it longer, more rounded. So. Think about the difference between saying no and no. Go on, try it. The sound really comes from deeper in your throat. It's a tiny change, but it has a huge impact. Okay, next one. In the scene, Frank says, "Thank you so much for making the trip." Now listen really close. There are two huge pronunciation secrets hiding in this phrase, in the words for and trip. This is such a great example of what we call connected speech. Native speakers almost never say for making. They blend the words together. The word for gets shrunk down to a super quick f sound that just latches right onto the next word, for making. It's the same thing with for you, which becomes few, or for me, which becomes for me. This is what makes English sound so fast and fluid. So why is this a big deal? Well, because if you say every single word perfectly and separately, your speech can end up sounding kind of robotic and unnatural. Honestly, mastering connected speech is one of the biggest leaps you can make towards sounding like a native. It's all about creating a smooth, flowing river of sound. Now, let's break down that word trip. The T sound isn't ta. No, it's a sharp little blast of air. Put your hand in front of your mouth and say it. T, trip. You should actually feel that puff of air. And the American R? It isn't that hard, rolled R you hear in some other languages. It's much softer, almost like a mix between an R and a W. T, rip. It's subtle, I know, but it's totally key. All right, get ready for this. We are about to uncover what might be the single most important rule of American English pronunciation, and it's hidden right here, inside the word seating. I love this way of thinking about it. The T and D sounds are like siblings. Seriously, they're made in the exact same spot in your mouth. Your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth. The only difference is one tiny little thing. And here it is. Put your hand on your throat. When you make the T sound, t, t, all you feel is air. It's voiceless. Now try a D sound, d, d. You feel that vibration? That's a voiced sound. And because they're made in the same place, American English speakers often swap them to make talking faster and smoother. This is where the magic happens. A British speaker might say setting with a really sharp T. But an American speaker will often soften that T into a D sound. It's called a flap T. So seating becomes seating. And when they're talking really fast, it can get even softer and sound almost like a light R, searing. This whole T-D-R relationship is everywhere in American English, in words like water, better, and city. Okay, so we've covered the sound of the words. Now let's level up and talk about their meaning, because being truly fluent means you have to understand the expressions and the idioms that native speakers use all the time without even thinking. It's like a secret code. So in this scene, Linda is trying to flatter Frank by talking about the great seats he and his wife, Claire, are going to have. And she says this. Now, obviously, Claire is not literally going to be flying in outer space. This is a classic idiom. To be over the moon just means you are incredibly happy, totally thrilled. It's a much more colorful and natural way to say very happy. And, using phrases like this shows you have a much deeper understanding of the culture behind the language. A little later on, Linda is explaining why this other guy, Donald Blythe, was chosen for a job that Frank really wanted. And she uses this critical phrase to explain the political decision. To be the face of something means you are the public representative for it. So Linda is basically saying that even though Frank might be more qualified, Donald Blythe is the person everyone already connects with education reform. He's the public symbol for it. Okay, this is the expert level. This is the final layer of mastery. True fluency isn't just about understanding the words or even the idioms. It's about understanding why the characters are saying these things in the first place. This is subtext, the real conversation that's happening just beneath the surface. This slide just decodes the entire negotiation for you. Linda isn't just making small talk about seats. She's buttering him up, right? She's offering him gifts and flattery because she's about to ask him to do something really difficult. And Frank, he's furious about being passed over for a job. So when he asks absolute autonomy, he's making a power play. He's basically saying, you need me, and the price for my help is total control. This is the real conversation, and it's all happening between the lines. So, we've broken down sounds, idioms, and the subtext all from this one scene. Now let's pull it all together into a clear set of takeaways you can start using literally today. Okay, here's your cheat sheet. First, stop listening for individual words and start listening for the musical flow and connected speech. Second, pay super close attention to how Americans play with the T, D, and R sounds. Third, anytime you hear a phrase that doesn't make literal sense, it's probably an idiom. Go look it up. And finally, always ask yourself, what does this character really want? We used House of Cards today, but you can do this with any show that you love. The tools are yours now. So, the real question is, what are you going to watch this week? Not just to be entertained, but to listen with a purpose and take your English to a whole new level.